Well, that's it. The New York Yankees season is officially over, following their Game 4 loss to the Blue Jays.
The Yankees lose!
Their fans are, of course, in an uproar, which is pretty typical year to year, but I do think they have a little more reason to be frustrated with this performance than most, as I have to admit, yesterday's game had to be one of the most brutal overall performances in an elimination game I've seen out of them in recent years, right up there with last year's Game 5 of the World Series. Things got started fast for Toronto, as we saw Vladimir Guerrero Jr., who basically was the Michael Myers of the series for the Yankees, lace an RBI double with one out in the first inning. To give credit where credit is due, Cam Schlittler, New York's rookie right-hander, would manage to get out of what turned into a jam afterwards unscathed, seeing Cody Bellinger make an excellent sliding catch to end things. Nothing much would happen for the next few frames, until Ryan McMahon managed to take lefty reliever Mason Fluharty deep, tying the game at 1 after what had been a slow start for their offense overall. Schlittler then got back on the mound and managed to work out of a runner on second, nobody out situation in the fourth, seemingly giving his team some momentum, right? Well, you couldn't tell with the bats, as they would again go silent in both this frame and the fifth, having to watch as the Blue Jays took a 2-1 lead when George Springer lifted a sacrifice fly in between their at-bats. This put them down a run once again, tightening the proverbial collar of the entire organization. But it's not like they didn't have chances to catch up. In fact, they came in spades, starting with 2 guys on in the 6th inning, ending on a ground out for Jazz Chisholm, a character who would turn into a villain nearly immediately after, when in the 7th, with a guy on and 1 out, Andres Gimenez grounded a routine double play ball to second. But Jazz booted it, putting runners in the corners with 1 out, chasing Cam from the game in the process as well. This allowed the Jays to tack on 2 insurance runs when, later on, Nathan Lucas singled with 2 outs. Things were getting grim real fast, and it didn't help that again they would strand 2 guys on in the bottom of the 7th, courtesy of a Trent Grisham pop-up, before allowing yet another run in the 8th. Still, even at this point, with the kind of offense their team had shown all year, a comeback wasn't impossible. And they gave themselves another great opportunity in the bottom half of that very inning, when they loaded the bases with 2 outs. Just one big hit would get things within at least reasonable territory for the 9th. But any semblance of clutch would again elude them when Austin Wells flew out on the first pitch he saw to medium left field. Another relatively uncompetitive at-bat. And seemingly just to drive the stake in a little further into Yankee fans' hearts, they would manage to muster a small rally at the last second, drawing within 3 after Aaron Judge lined a 2-out RBI single in the 9th. But with Giancarlo Stanton on deck as the tying run, Cody Bellinger would not manage to get on, striking out on a splitter to end it. This game truly did feature everything New York fans hated about their team in 2025. The lack of a big hit when they needed it most, bad fundamentals on defense, and a bullpen that struggled to keep games close after their starter departed. Just truly ugly. With that being said, good job to Toronto. They executed everything they wanted to perfection besides in that Game 3, and have to be viewed at this point, in my opinion, as the favorite for the ALCS regardless of whatever happens in the Tigers-Mariners game.
Alright everybody, if you made it this far, I appreciate you watching, and if you did, consider checking out any of these other videos on your screen right now for other content just like this. Also, if you ever see anything you'd like to see me detail in the video, feel free to reach out to my email, basebpoet@gmail.com, and if I end up using your idea, I'll give you a shout out. Thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your day.